IVM.
So hello and welcome to the latest episode of Football Shootball. This is episode 3 of season 3. It's a transfer deadline day special, and before we do anything, we're going to go right over to G.O.A.T Sapre, who is in Vadala near Worcester Stadium. G.O.A.T, you asked us to delay starting the podcast because you had some breaking transfer news for us. What is it?
Yes, because now for me, the transfer market, everything is shut, right? Nothing what happens anymore matters to me unless Arsenal buy Willian back from Brazil. Otherwise, I'm not interested in anything in this transfer.
What's happening? Why is Sapre sounding so low? I thought with the signing of Ronaldo, he'd be a little more pepped up.
I am, but it's been 2 days, right? I was the 900,000.
But you're the one who's still talking about it. We didn't bring it up. You brought it up.
I am, yeah. Sorry.
I thought you'll give us some new breaking news. Okay, let's go over to our other reporter, Shivram Parmeshwaran, who is talking to us from the Paris of India, Pune city. Shivram.
For a moment, I thought you were referring to Kanakya. I wasn't sure.
The climate is so hazy and the people are so lazy. Paris and
Do
Pune.
you have some breaking news for us, though?
I unfortunately don't. I didn't realize we were expected to prep for this podcast. I thought we were just showing up and you were leading it. So, Karthik, let me do the manju of this podcast and just ask you right back. What do you think is the best transfer that is happening of late?
I was hoping that the two.
Actually, I know. Griezmann and what's his face?
Joao Felix. Yeah.
No, I just like saying what's his face. Joao Felix are being considered for a swap by Atletico and Barcelona. I mean, now they're just discussing who can be swapped between us, and it's all. I mean, there is no point to the La Liga anymore, right? It's become like
is it
Bayern
just to
and
be in the
Dortmund.
news? You're saying is it just to be in the news that they're doing?
It's just
this
a PR stunt. Yeah, now it's just a PR stunt.
Because I think by the time anyone listens to it, I don't even know if that move's going to take place, right? Like, who knows? It's probably like Cavani to Barcelona, which lasted all of 20 minutes. The news came out and it is not. It already, people have come out and said he's very happy. No. So here's my theory about Cavani to Barcelona. They said Cavani likes wearing number 21. He wears it for Uruguay. Cavani said, okay, if you're moving me from number 7, which Ronaldo is going to get, you have to give me 21. But who was number 21, G.O.A.T Sapre?
Griezmann.
It was Daniel James. So Manchester United have decided to sell Daniel James for 30 million just to include Ronaldo and Cavani in the team.
This is so weird. You're selling people because so Dan James said, I won't play, but I won't change his jersey also.
No, he was never going to get a chance to play anyway. He'd rather go to Leeds, right? Where a manager really loves him and wants him.
I wanted him for the long time. Anyway, this is season 3, episode 3 of Football Shootball. We're calling this episode Jism.
Like,
how do you pronounce
podcast ki bhook.
Jism, because Cristiano Ronaldo and his 10-pack abs and his rock-hard body.
I think it's the worst name you could have given this podcast, given Ronaldo's history with allegations which are not putting him in the best light. I think this is the worst name you could have come up with.
So you know how I came out with this name? I googled Ronaldo Bollywood connection. Times of India has this article of
he kissed Bipasha Basu.
Yeah, so then I was like, okay, Bipasha, the only movie I know.
On a part of a jism, so.
Yeah.
That is a great story, but it still doesn't, get you out of that little hole you dug for yourself.
I just hope that the next time when the Brazilian Anderson who played for United gets transferred, he doesn't do a Google and see what names come up. My God, my mistake.
I think his joke is Pamela Anderson, so I think that's what he's getting at.
Okay. Yeah.
Your jokes are a little layered.
No, it's not.
I think.
Anyway.
There is 7 layers of dirt and then there's your joke. So
thank you. But I thank you. I'm no longer disappointed with myself.
there is someone worse than Sapre on this podcast today.
Hey, the moment you said Anderson, the first person I thought of was James Anderson.
Anderson. I can imagine.
That was what came to my head. So yeah, that's where we're at. We'll come back with a lot of transfer talk. I have a special quiz for the two of you regarding transfers that happened this year.
It's a quiz. We'll decide if it's special or not. If I win, it's special. Otherwise, it's shit.
We'll talk about what happened in the Premier League. We had a blockbuster clash between Liverpool and Chelsea. We'll cover Fantasy Premier League as well. If you're listening to us on video, we're going to be back with you in a second. All right, so welcome back to Football Shootball. Okay, my mind is still blown. I still don't believe it, G.O.A.T Sapre. Cristiano Ronaldo has come back to Manchester United. I feel I will not believe it until he actually walks out in that jersey.
Yeah, neither does he. His first choice was City. Let's be very honest about it. Right? It just didn't. It didn't work out for whatever reason. And I think one of the news I read was they asked Ronaldo to hold on for a while. Like one more week, we'll figure some money out. Not that we don't have money. We just have to just rent some well to somebody for like a couple of weeks and we'll get the money. But he wasn't
Is that
willing
how
to
you
wait.
think the petrol
I want
industry
to
works?
I want to think that that's how it works. So he can't believe he's back at United. Now he's doing all this PR. Oh, this is Sir Alex, this is for you. And always this connection with the club. You never wanted to come back to this club to begin with. Right? Just that he never believed that there's a club who would not take me. Right? But City being City said, Thamba, 1 week, we'll figure something out. We're still paying for Grealish's hair wags. Thoda paisa aega, we'll buy. But no, he had said bye to Juventus and his teammates. And he's just happy and glad he found a club. That is what it is all about. Not that I'm not happy with Ronaldo at United. The two things is
dropping truth bombs on
You
on
still
football,
focused
football, yeah.
on what possibly wasn't, I mean, I get it. City pulled the rug out from under his feet. I get it. But he eventually came to United, right? So that's what's important. Why are you worried about the journey? The destination is more important.
But it would have been so much fun, I think he tried to reach out to Real Madrid. Ancelotti had to put out a tweet. PSG did not want him. City said, we don't want to pay a transfer fee. United also said, okay, no need. Because this is the guy who just left Juventus training and said, I'm going. I do not know where.
It is still Ronaldo. It is still Ronaldo. I mean,
it was reaching a stage where if it wasn't for Sir Alex, United also should have, just for fun, told him, go back, go to Turin, stay there.
No. If that wouldn't have happened, we would have been discussing Ronaldo back to Sporting on transfer deadline day.
That would be pretty awesome. And it could happen at some point. Okay, Shivram, considering you don't care about United, we'll speak from a perspective that you do care about. Is Ronaldo's price on FPL revealed?
Yes, it just got revealed actually. For anyone who's tuning in live, it is 12.5 million, which is a lot.
Wow. Has anyone been that before?
Yeah, I think there are a couple of people who are that this year, with Lukaku and Salah being those. I think Bruno is also 12.5 or he's 12. I don't remember. But there are people who have been priced at that range. The thing is, now Ronaldo's last two seasons, which were 2007, 2008, I think he left 2009. Both those seasons were over 200 points. And I think one of them were 283 points. So considering he is an FPL asset in many ways, because he will continue to deliver, I don't think I think the Portugal squad is anything to go by, Ronaldo continues to take the penalties for the Portugal team where Bruno exists as a midfielder. So, I mean, if seniority, ability, and just ego is to be considered, I think Ronaldo is going to also be on penalties. So, I don't see why he will not cross another 200 mark. If he starts regularly, given his age, he might not. Or I don't know if Ole has plans to rotate him. But how do you rotate Ronaldo? I don't know. I don't want to be that person who's putting him on the bench. It's like, would you start Greenwood over Ronaldo?
So what happens, what I've noticed in Italy about the point of rotation, every time Ronaldo's on the bench, right, the news comes out that Ronaldo requested to be on the bench. It's never been Andrea Pirlo's decision to rest Ronaldo or Mauricio Sarri. So I guess they'll go along similar lines.
Given what Pirlo did last year, it definitely couldn't be his decision to bench Ronaldo. So let's get Pirlo out of this.
My only thing is like, it is absolutely, the romance of football is amazing seeing Ronaldo come back to United in whatever way he came back, like City, this, that, and the other. Yes, there were some back and forths along the way, but he has arrived at United. The one thing that I want to remind everyone of is Thierry Henry's return to Arsenal. Which was, I think, in Arsenal's 125th year of existence. He was okay at best, right? He didn't really. I think he scored the one goal in extra time against Leeds or something. So that's the one thing the one thing he remembers. Is that part of your quiz as well?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Although I have something about Henry in the quiz. It was Leeds in the FA Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
In the FA Cup, yes. He came on off the bench and he scored the winner. But that's my only thing. Like, Ronaldo is not what he was in 2009. He's great. There is no two ways about it. Like, Messi's going to be a perfect fit at PSG. But I think what you needed is a CDM, and that was fairly obvious over the weekend. Like, against Wolves, where if anyone saw that game, and I read this on Twitter, really well put. I don't remember who it is. Otherwise, I would have credited them. United had a small boat with a hole. Now they just bought a bigger boat with a bigger hole. That's all that's happened. So, just that little question mark at the end, the little asterisk with conditions apply. Otherwise, for someone who plays FPL, fantastic news. Someone who likes Ronaldo or Messi, fantastic news. I would get to see him on regular basis. I don't even know where they play Serie A. It's great.
Yeah. So Ronaldo is rowing on his big boat with a big hole on his way to Manchester. He will start, I think September 11th is their next game. So get him in your FPL side. That's what Shivram is saying. He's got him in. He's taken a wild card and he's got him in. Although things will change by the time the next weekend of Premier League action comes around. Okay, quickly. 2 questions for you. We'll start with Sapre. This is not yet the quiz. Sapre, what was your favorite transfer of the summer? You can be obvious in this one.
Be yourself is what he means.
Lukaku to Chelsea.
That wasn't obvious at all. I would have thought you would have gone for either Ronaldo or a World Cup winner coming to Manchester United. But fair enough.
That's personally a best transfer. Of course, Ronaldo back.
That is the second question. Don't mix the question. One is what is the favorite. Next is what is the best transfer.
So I answered both of them together. So okay, big deal. No, but I'm saying Lukaku because the top scorer last season was Jorginho, 7 goals all from penalties. They definitely needed a striker, and right now no better than Lewandowski or Lukaku, and they got the one.
Yeah, Shivram.
I answered both your questions.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Shivram,
you did.
To you.
I think I'm going to be really positive about Ronaldo.
So you're going to say best transfer of the season could be Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah,
and not just into your FPL side, into Manchester United side.
Yeah, I think this will turn their fortunes their way, even though they do lack a CDM. And if you saw them play over the weekend, I'm going back to the same point.
Oh man, that match! How didn't Wolves score? I still can't believe it.
We'll get into Wolves. We have a lot of dope on Wolves. But yeah, I think personally, we'll get into what I think it is. But I think it's the biggest marquee signing, right? Like you remember Messi moving to PSG. It was such a crying fest. Like everyone was bawling their eyes out. And then there was this press conference when he's talking to his teammates. Everyone's crying. And then he moved to PSG and now he finally showed up. He didn't want to leave. He said 50%, I'll take a pay cut. Such a sob story, man. And look at Ronaldo. He tried to go to 3 clubs. Finally, so he's just like such a funny. It's like Golmaal. So I think it's a good thing that he's at United. I would love to see him play again. So from my perspective, I think it's going to be the biggest marquee signing this year. It may or may not work out. Lukaku might end up being the highest goal scorer. Even I think last year, and Karthik, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Ronaldo had the highest XG for goals. Even I think he was one above Lukaku.
His scoring rate has been sensational at Juventus. He will get you goals. Yeah, no doubt about it. I'll just go for a slightly different answer. I don't think we're going to cover them in this podcast. So Memphis Depay, he started extremely well for Barcelona, and I think he's really, really, really key to that side. Okay, moving on. We're going to have a quick quiz with the two of y'all. We haven't done this in a while, and this will be the first one of season 3. It's about transfers.
There's good reason.
Yeah. It's about transfers. It's going to be pretty simple. Shivram, we're going to start with you.
Don't say it's pretty simple to begin with. Say it's going to be really hard. And if I get it, say that was amazing.
You're putting pressure on him so that he asks you an easy question. Don't ask him a question where the answer is Ronaldo, please. That's like every quiz in every single please.
El phenomenon.
No. That's the wrong answer, but who is the most expensive player of all time? A single transfer. A single transfer.
Would you
one move from one club to another?
Yeah.
I'll give you a few more hints. It happened in. It'll come to you.
It's not Maguire, right?
No. It's far. This figure is far more. It's not. It's nothing to do with England. I'll give you that.
It's just Neymar. Is it still Neymar?
Yes.
It's Neymar.
Okay. I thought you were talking about because
Nah.
I'll tell you what was in my head. In my head, I immediately went to Figo was 66 million. Then there was Ronaldo to Real Madrid, and then there was Neymar, and I was like, did anyone break that? Because I know Pogba came from Juventus, then Maguire came from Leicester, and then of course Grealish signed for 100 million. But I think that was some 212 or 220 million something.
Yeah. Best is Barcelona. 100 million on Dembele, 125 on Coutinho, 200 or whatever, 180 on Griezmann.
And now they can't resign Messi.
Okay, Sapre, 2 points to you, Shivram, because I'm giving 2 per question. Okay. Gaurav Sapre, next one to you. Who has earned the most cumulative transfer fees? And I mean, you know what it means, right? Like, you go from one club to another. Who has accumulated the most transfer fees across his or her career? It's a his.
player or manager?
Player.
Player.
A player moving. Which clubs have spent the most on this one particular player? And it was okay. I won't give you more hints.
No,
You never give me any hints.
No, don't give. I have an answer. I have the answer. I had
the answer. You gave an answer wrong. You still got 2 points and 1 hint. At least give me a hint because look, I have 4. You don't give me 50-50. That's the problem. Give me a hint.
All right.
No. Why?
No, there's one hint. One hint.
Fine.
One of his moves happened recently.
Lukaku.
Yes, Lukaku at 327 million. But because Shivram also knew the answer, Shivram, a follow-up question on Romelu Lukaku to you.
Wait. You first give me the 2 points and then
you get the 2 points. But this is a follow-up question to Shivram. Shivram, name the clubs that Lukaku has played for.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
Inter.
Mm-hmm.
There's a third club, is it?
There are more. There are
5. Lukaku has also played at... Oh, wait. He played in another club in England, which is... damn. Is it...
Oh, man. Shivram,
Can I just go ahead?
It'll come to you. It'll come.
It's coming. The pressure of this quiz.
Screen. Bar him from this podcast.
Oh my God, I remember him, but I can't... United.
Okay, so that's 3.
You laugh
United.
No.
Before
I was thinking in KBC on the third question. This is exactly
not before United. I was thinking of the one before United. Man, where did he come from?
United.
Everton. Thank you. I was thinking of Everton.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So those are the 4. I don't know the 5th one.
So you know the 4. There are 2 more. Sapre, follow-up question to you. If you can name the 2 more, you also get 2 more points.
Also, as in he never gave the answer.
Yeah, he gave 4, so I'm giving him 4 points for this.
I know one.
I won. Let's stop. Stop the count.
It's Anderlecht.
Yeah. And there was one more, very famously on loan in the Premier League.
West Brom.
Absolutely. So that's 2 more points to you, Sapre. And now you are 2 points behind Sapre to make up. Name these clubs chronologically. You will then even Shivram. Name from where he went to where he's at.
For me.
No, not for you. You're ahead by 2.
From Anderlecht to Chelsea to West Brom to Everton to United to Inter to Chelsea.
Yes. 7.
And he did one training session with Anderlecht between.
Hey, I also watched that reveal video for Lukaku. It's not that big a deal. Okay, relax.
8 points again.
All right. So both of y'all, I think, are at 6. Let's just count at 6
points.
Because both of y'all are even. Now the next question is.
No. Let's just call it even. Sapre, let's just close it.
Y'all are at 6. It's been decided.
You're worst quiz master. You can't even join TMC.
Minus two.
Next question to you, Shivram. There are only a couple more to go. Now we know, Shivram, in 1999, Thierry Henry moved to work under Arsene Wenger. But from whom did Arsenal buy their greatest ever player for around £11 million?
Monaco.
So easy question.
That is wrong.
Oh, Leon.
Sapre.
No,
that
you
is wrong as well. Sapre gets 2 points for this because
he was with you.
He was at Monaco before you went.
You remember his return in 2021 goal he scored against Leeds. You don't know he got
Sorry. Oh, no, I just remember him in the Monaco jersey for some reason. Sorry. My bad.
I thought it was a very good question. It was an excellent question because it's
excellent question.
Yeah.
That was a rubbish question.
Okay, now I am not going to ask
1999, United won the treble, by the way. So, Kasper Schmeichel was in goal. Okay. And 2000, Benfica won.
Who is giving you points for this?
No, I'm just stating facts now.
I'll give you a chance to come back into it. So I'm going to take Sapre's question because he's 2 points ahead and give it to you right now. Okay?
Thank you.
Cristiano Ronaldo signed for Manchester United in 2003 from which club?
Sporting Lisbon.
Y'all are back even. 2 points each for both Sapre and Shivram. 8 points.
Lovely quiz. This is my favorite quiz of all time.
No sense of competitiveness at all. Right? Socialist quiz up everybody. Take.
This is the Montessori section. Everyone gets a medal.
All right. So we're down to now the final 2 questions. Okay.
How many questions do you have?
It's just 2 more. There are no follow-ups to this.
You don't win, he's going to continue with
there are just 2 more questions in this. And this one I'm going to start with Sapre. Okay. Sapre, think. 2 players from England who played in the Euro 2020 final. When I say played, that means they did come on at some point of time during that match. Moved clubs this summer. Who are they?
Moved clubs this summer.
Yeah.
And played for England.
And played for England in the 2020 final versus Italy. And also, they not like they were in the squad. They did come on the field in that final. So
Jack
who
Grealish
are
is one.
Yes,
Nice.
that is correct.
And
5 more seconds. That's it. you
what
get
rubbish?
for
Shut
the-
up. 5 more seconds.
3, 2, 1. Oh, unfortunate. Only 1 point. I don't know the answer, but tell me the second question.
But then when it comes to you, you're going to get a hint. So maybe you
Okay,
will know the
perfect.
answer at that
That
point.
helps.
of
That
time.
helps. Because it's only 1 pointer, right? So it makes sense.
You're being cruel now. Team cruel. Chalo. Okay.
Okay, so Sapre passes. Shivram, this player, he's played. No, how do I frame it? Okay, this player, I no hint actually.
Just
Come on, yeah,
Tell
you
me the
guys have
first
to
letter.
get a
Just tell me the first letter. It's easier.
Give name only, na? First name only tell, na?
He's just shout it out.
It's a
Whoever
he.
knows it.
It's a he. So you all what more hint do you want?
Okay, the first one to shout it out gets both points for this.
Perfect.
He missed a penalty in the final.
Sancho.
I'm surprised you didn't get it at first goal.
Oh, yeah,
Jadon Sancho came to
He's
Manchester United. Like you don't
Pressure,
deserve
pressure.
points for that, but okay,
That
you
is
get
true.
the
That
two.
is true. He doesn't
Yeah.
deserve anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Neither
Now,
did Sancho deserve
Shivram,
all the abuse.
Shivram, this is one question for you. I think it's going to be slightly tricky, tough, but we'll
That's
see if you can
4
get it.
points.
The player of the tournament in Euro 2020 moved clubs this summer. Who is that? Where did he go?
Player
So
of the
obviously
World
he's Italian.
Cup. Yeah,
obviously.
obviously he's
Yeah.
Italian.
Yeah.
Who moved clubs from the Italy team?
Sapre, raise your hand if you know it.
I can't remember the name, but I know who the player is.
Well, the same. I can't remember the name, but I know who the player is.
Locatelli.
No.
No. So
He moved-
minus one.
Yeah.
Acha,
fine.
rubbish, minus one. Locatelli, no?
So I win by
No.
not saying anything.
No.
That is lovely.
It is a very, very famous name. Okay, quick hint. Whoever shouts it out, he plays in a specialist position.
All of them played.
Talking United and Arsenal, but we have all
Spinazzola.
specialists.
No.
Spinazzola went to the hospital, dude.
That's what I thought. That is a specialist position.
Specialist. Oh.
The answer is Gianluigi Donnarumma, who went from AC
Donnarumma
Milan
was
to
the player of the
PSG.
tournament.
Yes,
Oh,
he was
damn.
player. of the-
How is he a specialist? Because the goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper.
He's special.
Yeah.
This is a goalkeeper.
I think Sapre has he's leading by 10 points. He's pretty much won this quiz. Shivram, I'll give you one more chance now.
Okay, cool. Let's just keep doing this.
PSG signed 5 players this summer. One I've already given you is Donnarumma. If you can
Donnarumma?
name... no, that is not counted. Boo for that. So there are 4 more. If you name 2, you can equal Sapre. If you name 3 and 4, you're obviously winning the quiz. So can you
Okay,
name
cool.
all 4?
Let me try. Okay, so Donnarumma is 1.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
out of the
not
5.
counted. No, yeah,
Okay.
out of the 5. Yeah.
Then there's Wijnaldum,
Okay, that's, yeah.
Messi.
Mm-hmm. You need one more to
Hakimi?
win the quiz. Shivram Parmeshwaran has won our transfer deadline day special.
I told you, till you don't do
Thank you,
it.
thank you, thank you. Thanks, Karthik. I'll pay you back in the next one.
I just want to publicly apologize to Iyer for pushing him to lead this episode. So this is kind of revenge that he's sought on me. Very
What
sorry.
you give is what you get.
It's public
Yeah.
humiliation.
Thank you.
That
I
was-
appreciate
that was a
the
lot of
really,
fun.
really
Well done.
tough quiz. Karthik,
Yes.
really tough quiz.
Yeah.
And full credit to you for making sure that this was run in the right, spirit of quizzing.
Correct. Spirit of the game. Always.
Spirit of the
Yeah.
game. Yeah. The game wins. The game wins at the end of the day. Everyone who's listening to this has had to sit through this. It's 24 minutes. I mean, I think we should apologize to them after this separately. But I think it's a fair result, and I'm happy to be the winner again.
Sure.
Thank
All
you.
right. So enough transfers for this time. Enough deadline day specials. Whatever transfer happened from now on, they don't really matter to us until the next week. So let's
Wait,
talk.
just remind me who's the 5th person at PSG?
Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos. Oh man, yeah, fair enough. In the
Sergio
pressure, I
Ramos.
blanked. Yeah.
But you still won somehow. You came through at the end.
Yeah. That's what's important. Like Ronaldo, right?
Yeah.
I started, I didn't know where I was going, but I eventually arrived. So that is what.
Wait till I get VAR next season on this podcast. Wait and watch both of you.
All right, so let's get to the football. Shivram, I'm going to stay with you because I think you really enjoyed. I saw you tweeting about it as well. Chelsea's performance versus Liverpool, 1-1 after going down to 10 men. The assumption was that Liverpool would win in the second half.
Easily. I thought they were going to thrash them. And I remember and no apologies for saying what I said last week. 3-0 is what I was going for Liverpool. Clearly, I misread the ability of Chelsea to stand up and, take the bull by the horns. In the second half, after Reece James got sent off, that was pretty stupid of him to do that. But I think in the heat of the moment, you do what you have to do. I won't blame Suarez for what he did, right? I thought
you mean the handball and not the biting, right? Like that.
No, the handball. I think Asamoah Gyan missed the penalty right after. Right? That's what happened.
Correct.
So that happened. I thought after that it's going to be a downhill from there on. And then suddenly, even with Firmino going off and Jota coming on, which is the most surefire player in their team, even with Salah there, somehow they just held ground. And they even had a couple of chances on the counter with Lukaku making those runs. And what a fantastic display by the midfield for Chelsea. What a fantastic display by Rudiger, by Christensen, who I think is now solid, right? Like, I don't think he's going to get rotated in that squad unless it's the Champions League.
This is unless, again, we're on deadline day. So to make a reference to that, they have been linked with Jules Koundé. So in the next few hours, if he comes in, maybe he gets a look in. But Christensen, like you said, is carrying on from Euro 2020. His form for Denmark there was great as well in their run to the semi-final.
Are they extending his contract or something?
They should, because they've sold Kurtzuma, right?
Kurtzuma went to West Ham.
And Thiago's
West Ham, man. West Ham have bought some really solid players. Yeah.
They've done great business.
Yeah. You're a fan of boys. This has been a pretty fun transfer window. What happened over the weekend? I have no idea who they played or what their result was.
Oh my God, that was a lovely game.
Lovely game. You spoke about fair result. I'll tell you what a fair result was. At 5-0 thrashing of Arsenal was a fair result. Okay.
See, listen, I don't think even he's going to disagree with you.
I'm not. See, he can't. I'm not going to debate. I don't want to discuss the game.
I have stopped blaming people for trying to find a pithy way to, narrow what football is, right? There is not one reason. Right?
The margin of victory was wide, so you can't narrow it.
I mean, that is just a symptom, right? That is not the disease. This is what we spoke about the last time as well. So let's not get into that. I think, Sapre, whatever you were saying about any other team, please continue.
No, I just wanted to... I know there's nothing more to talk about that game. But no, the Chelsea game, I think Alonso had a fantastic game. He was playing almost next to Lukaku. He also made a couple of chances on the break in that second half. I think apart from the first 10-15 odd minutes, where Liverpool just piling up the pressure. Yeah. I think Chelsea then settled on. He had nobody on the bench to bring on. He had Ox and Minamino. Him on the bench, but he got Tsimikas, which got me a point also on FPL. But he had no one to bring on. He got Thiago, but nothing really changed. So, Shivram, just don't feel bad about... You're just ahead of everybody. Last season, you said that Chelsea's going to win because you have a great squad. It's going to be probably turned out to be true this time.
Are you saying that? Title challengers, Sapre. The favorites, I feel they're favorites currently, especially in the small sample size that we've seen. Like,
certainly challengers,
I would possibly put City ahead of... See, but that would be the only team. I think neck to neck with Chelsea would be United. And
okay, what's up with Manchester City, Shivram? In 2008, they went for Kaká. Kaká came in his balcony and said, "No, thank you very much. I'm staying with AC Milan." 1 year later, he went to Real Madrid. Then last year, for sure, they went for Messi, and then Messi said, "No, I'll stay at this club." Now they've gone for Ronaldo. Basically, all Ballon d'Or winners except Modric in the last few years, they've gone for it. Everyone has told them, "No, thanks." What is up with City? Why does it Harry Kane? Another one. Why don't players want to
Ballon d'Or winners WhatsApp group? Messi's been like typing. Don't go there.
I think Harry Kane is an anomaly there. I think Harry Kane really wanted to go. I'm not sure about the others. I think Harry Kane was the only one who possibly put in a transfer request and something changed in the middle and Daniel Levy had his say. But everyone else, I think, were pretty sure of why they don't want to go. I think it has to do a lot with new money. Like when a club becomes super rich, like City have, and they have a lot of allegations against them, right? Against financial fair play. Maybe you don't want that much money, right? What do they offer for you as a player? You continue to play in Champions League in whatever team you're in. Even Spurs are playing Champions League this season. No, they're playing the Europa.
Conference League.
Conference League. Sorry. I just think everyone else is playing Champions League. I think City have lost their sheen over the last 2 years. They've done well, but they've not done spectacularly well, and they've got a double, treble. They have a packed squad already, and for some reason, I think it has something to do with Pep Guardiola as well. His inability to find a striker for that team. Aguero left, gaping hole. He says Jesus will continue. I think there is something amiss here, which normally wouldn't happen, right? Normally, you would just see them plugging the holes immediately. Like Grealish is the one thing that reminds me of times gone by where they would immediately just plug a hole where they see one. The striker thing hasn't happened for 2 years, in spite of Kane wanting to come. So there is something bigger at play here. I don't know what that is.
Haaland. It's called Haaland.
Yeah, fair enough. That is a very fair shout. Guardiola said he's leaving after 2 seasons. It's also nice that a side that doesn't
Is he going to New York?
He wants a break. His break. And he said he wants to manage a national side. So in South America.
Euros not South America. He said either Copa, Euro or International.
Yeah. So Copa America. South America, right? Copa America.
No, and other things, not just South
No. So there is a business interest in Brazil that he has. So most likely that is the national team that.
Which is why he's retaining Jesus. No wonder.
That makes sense. He should come to India. We have friendly relations with Middle Eastern countries. Let's take up a real challenge, no? What is this? Like give $3 billion. I want to buy everybody who's off for sale. Come to India, no? Like pay GST first, get Aadhaar, do all of that. That's a real challenge for you. Not this go to Brazil and play with the best and Richarlison along with them. So they come to India.
What's wrong with Richarlison?
Yeah, poor guy. Yeah. PSG apparently wanted to pay 100 million for him if Mbappe was going to leave. So yeah.
For Richarlison.
Benitez said, if I am not getting that kind of money, nobody who plays for me will get that kind of money.
World's gone mad. World has gone mad. This football world. It is.
After Messi won, I saw this on Twitter. After Messi won the Copa America, which was never meant to happen, we have now entered a parallel universe. now don't expect the expected. Expect the unexpected.
Yeah. A lot of fun. Anything else happen in the Premier League that we need to know about? Because that's all on my notes. I'm done.
That is awesome. I think we're good. Let's switch on to FPL.
I do want to mention, you mentioned Spurs. I was going to qualify it with top of the table Spurs, the only side with a 100% record in the league. I think all have been 1-0 wins. So
they have all been 1-0 wins.
Yeah, or at least 2 or 3. I'm not really sure, but maybe I think the Wolves one in particular there was a bit of luck involved, like United beating Wolves as well. There was quite a bit of luck involved. You wanted to speak about the United game. So I completely agree that Wolves should have got a point, but I don't know. In the 60th minute, when that goal for Wolves, Sapre wasn't coming, you just feel that this is United. There's going to be a break, and I don't know.
Fluke is what the word you're looking for.
Man, I just expected it to happen.
No, so then you don't watch football. I don't blame you because you genuinely don't watch football, right? Wolves United games have always been like this. They've been 0-0s, 1-1s, right? Call it boring, call it whatever. So don't expect a high-scoring game when United and Wolves play together at Molineux or at Old Trafford. Doesn't matter. The fear was that United will not lose. They would still find some place to score a goal from somewhere, even if it's in the last 5-10 minutes. But it went exactly as expected. Yeah, the Wolves should have scored, of course, but that's through Traore, and that has been his concern. I think a lot of clubs would want to take him just because of his ability, and he quite clearly was at show. But it's that finishing, it's in the final third, his passing. That's what the XG is always high, just doesn't convert. And that is exactly the problem we saw over the weekend as well in that game. But apart from that, it's exactly the game that everybody expected it to be. People are idiots who kept Bruno as captain. They haven't seen football. They all are here, your listeners.
Karthik had Vardy as captain. Who did he have, Sapre?
I had Son.
Hey, not bad.
Yeah. Vardy got me points, right? Yeah, he did.
If you don't change your team for a whole year, your captain will get you points at some point in time.
I will change now. Real FPL begins right now because the transfer window shuts. That's when actual FPL begins. The rest it's all a prelude until the previous.
So you have what you preseason then?
You'll have Kane, Ronaldo, and Lukaku up front, right?
And all 4 million.
about last thing about the Premier League before we get into fantasy mode after the break. This is something I just found it very interesting. The first time I am seeing it, and I'm sure it has happened, but as Ainsley Maitland-Niles, the Arsenal wing back, he plays in a lot of other positions. I find him extremely exciting whenever he plays. He put out a statement, man, on Instagram saying, because I think Arsenal blocked his move to Everton for whatever reason. I do not know why, or Everton pulled out of the move. I have not seen a player openly state that please allow me to go, literally begging the club on social media. A player of that standard, belonging to such a highly functional club, is that the right way of putting it? I do not know. Yeah. And now there are reports also, Shivram, coming in that Arsenal now, Arteta doesn't want him to train with the first team. Oh God, this is...
I mean, that's a relief for anyone, right?
Besiktas is going to come calling then for him.
Auba is being offered to Barcelona, by the way. That is one more thing on the rumor mill that is happening. I think for Ainsley Maitland-Niles, yes, he's an exciting player. He has had showdowns in the past where he said, I won't play right back when the team needed him. Saka has played right back. Saka has played a lot of positions. Saka continues to play now, of course, in a position that he wants to. And he's also playing in that position for the English team, playing really well at that. I think it's just you have to go through some amount of drudgery. And things might not be handed to you on a platter all the time. I get that.
So you're saying there is a bit more to this than it's not just Arteta is a bad guy for telling him. There has to be something.
I mean, there are two sides to every story. So one side is it is in bad taste because you continue to be a part of the organization. You continue to be a part of the team, right? What benefit do you think you derive out of putting such a statement? The other part is from Arsenal's perspective. At some level, you have to be transparent with the player, right? So clearly they haven't. If something didn't go through and if Ainsley Maitland-Niles is only hearing about this didn't happen and it's not hearing a decent enough answer of why it didn't happen, he's in his right to question him. My only thing which is in bad taste is this, in this scenario, is let it happen behind closed doors. It doesn't need to happen on your Instagram story. We're all grown-ups here. Let's act like grown-ups. Even Kane for that matter, right? It's an open secret, right? From what went behind closed doors. We know what happened, but eventually put out a tweet. So it's okay to have that conversation in private. I'm not too sure of what is the point of doing that in public? Like you get more attention, but you still don't get what you want. So are you expecting someone else to do that deed for you? I beats me. That's where I'm coming from. I obviously don't know every part of the story.
I think he just wanted to... No, I think he just wanted to show... Firstly, you made a point that he doesn't want to play right back. At West Brom on loan, he was at West Brom. He played right back almost the entire season. Arsenal doesn't want to play. So that just
so I think Shivram, there was a slight bit that Shivram missed. He wants to play in one position. He doesn't want to be like Arteta has been moving around from everywhere. So he wants to be given, which I think as a professional is maybe a fair ask. Maybe he's saying that he reaches an age where he's like, I can't be just a floater everywhere, right? Nobody's
right.
I'll end up being
So Arteta likes him. You're saying Arteta likes him, and he.
I don't know, man.
I don't think so. I don't know what Arteta likes.
Yeah. Arteta is coming across pretty poorly in this entire window with his interviews. I mean, I really don't know. He seems so standoffish, and it's not fair maybe to make a judgment call. But
it's easy to blame him. But he also makes it easier for you to blame him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Please, let me be very clear. I'm not batting for anyone at Arsenal or associated with Arsenal or people who support Arsenal. I think.
But isn't Arsenal going for a German defender on transfer deadline?
What Pomo is not German?
Not German. Like some defender who plays in Germany. He's an Asian defender.
Japanese defender from Bologna, and he's a right back and he plays centre back as well. But again, these are not. I mean, anyway,
these are band-aids for a bullet wound.
There'll be an entire season separate to talk about Arsenal. Okay, let's leave
that
the
Premier
League.
That is the worst part of this podcast. There's so many more games to go.
And on that fun note, Shivram is going to get his FPL Fantasy Premier League notes together. We're going to take a quick break. You're going to hear some advertisements if you're listening to us on the podcast. If you're here with us on video, stay tuned. Shivram, I did well this time in fantasy football. Okay, I'll tell you now.
That is awesome.
The middle week was not too great, but this time I see green everywhere. So I have gone up in a lot of public leagues, not in the leagues that you and I play together. But
Dog doesn't believe you. The dog doesn't believe you.
I scored 63 points. All right.
That is not bad at all.
Yeah, I think that was and it was largely because of Antonio and Vardy who are there in my side. So that's good.
Yeah, I like the fact that the moment we switched to FPL and you had a good week, you immediately started with how well you did.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he doesn't know where his team is in the entire list.
He's done. He didn't even change his captain. Just happened to check his phone before coming on to this podcast. Oh, green, lovely. Points. Okay, great.
I think this also talks about...
he can't even name 7 of his players on the team.
I'll have to open
but in spite of that, I'm saying in spite of that, you've done so well.
मतलब टूटी हुई घड़ी भी दिन में 2 बार सही टाइम दिखाती है. We've discussed this before.
The pressure on Vardy and Antonio to score
deliver.
To deliver. I can't let this boy suffer 3 weeks in a row.
That is really funny. Like, if you want to be a part of this banter and if you want to get in on this fun that is, bookended by Karthik and Sapre, one does really well, one doesn't do as well. I mean, join the league to find out. Go to fantasy.premierleague.com. Type in 3HDRUY. That's 3HDRUY. Come join the league. You can tweet to us. Tell us where you think Karthik is. Tell us if your current score actually beats Karthik. I'd be really surprised if it does. But if it really does, Karthik is, I think, in the top 6 million of the league globally. So, which is, I think, a really high number, Karthik. I don't know why you're laughing at that. It's a big deal.
I have jumped on the Football Shootball League into the 180s from the 200s last time around. So I'm very happy.
That is spectacular. Yeah. Sapre, where are you? Let's move on to the real business end of this podcast. Where are you, Sapre?
I am climbing. I am on 69th position this week.
Hey, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm on 75th, so very close, Sapre. I think I'm just a couple of points behind you. Well done on managing to stay up for 3 weeks straight. Let's get into the rest of the league.
I love the fact, Shivram, that last week you said kids don't do drugs, rightly so. And the person whose name is Junkies FC, his team has gone high up the table.
That is brilliant. Yeah, Kshitij Pangal, I think 271 points, very well done. Clearly, some amount of illicit indulgences going on there because he's done really well. As is typical, the number 2 team is Gunachek, which has fallen from number 1. I mean, this is the least of our worries, right? We've fallen from much higher in the recent past. 66 points, 269 total. HP Sauce, Hassan Patel, 269 points again. So he's also, tied on second and third. Number 4 is Finding Timo. Wow, this is just people just continue to stay at the top. It's killing me. 263 points. Number 5th, fantastic name, Alice in Wonderland. Rishikesh P at 262 points again. So really well done, all of you. We are not doing that great, but we hope to come in the single digits maybe by the end of this year, Sapre. And Karthik, we would love to have you in the top 30.
Now it's time for the wild card. Now that the transfer deadline day is shut, I'm going to bring in an all-new team now from the week after next.
Lovely.
But how often will you change? That is.
I will be serious this time around, and I will change. I have not lost touch with everyone else, so I'm going to continue being that.
You mean family and friends, or?
I think it's applicable to everything. Yeah, life in general.
Wow, there is deep context only here on Football Shootball. Let's get into a little more deeper context. We do have a 2-week break with the international games coming up. A lot of players have decided not to play, or there are red-listed countries where they've been denied movement. Yeah. So a majority of the players will remain. But I think one name that stood for me, Emi Martinez, is actually going to push through to play for Argentina in the World Cup qualifiers. So he will not be eligible to play because they will have to follow quarantine rules. I think you can go on the internet and find out who else is there. But Emi Martinez stood out for me. There is also Gabamin, I don't know if you know, at Everton. I know him because I played with them in FIFA. So he's also going to travel. I don't think Brazilian players are going to travel. So that's something that you can put your mind at rest for. What's coming up in the next few weeks? Apart from the fact that you will need to save some money for Ronaldo, who's at a whopping 12.5 million, which is insane. A lot of people actually, so Salah went to 12.6 million. A lot of people sold him before the Chelsea game to make money for Ronaldo or Kane when they played Watford, and which he obviously didn't deliver. He dropped in price, and that has rarely happened for Salah. But clearly, there are a lot of new people who are playing FPL for the first time, and Karthik, so that affected how Salah's price dropped. Arsenal, I'm just going to say it out loud once and get it out. Arsenal playing Norwich and Burnley. So if there is a time to take a punt, it is now.
Right? Against Burnley, against Norwich, I can understand. At least you'll get one goal, so a clean sheet rather. Let's put it that way. But against Burnley,
think of it as a punt and run, right? So maybe just the 1 game week. Ronaldo is a must-have. Lukaku is also a must-have. Kane, I'm not too sure. We've just crossed August, so maybe in September, Kane's history, he might start delivering. The 3 teams that I want to call out is Watford, who have an easy run of games. Wolves, who have an easy run of games. I think they have 3 or 4 games back-to-back, which are on the easy side of the spectrum. And the last team is Leeds, which actually comes up after Liverpool. They have a good 4-5 games which are in the green. So on the fixture difficulty rating, they're actually on the 2. So after Liverpool, you might want to triple up on Leeds. So if this is when you're going into the wildcard mode, these are the teams I would want you to double up, triple up from. Some of the key premiums will not change. I don't think you should sell Alexander-Arnold. I don't think you should get rid of Salah. I would actually say triple up, get Jota as well. Let that train keep chugging. Firmino's out for a bit. He has a hamstring question mark. It might be 3 months. It might be 4 to 6 weeks. So for whatever it's worth, he is out for a foreseeable future. So Jota is the man. And I mean, figure out how you're going to get at least Ronaldo, if not one more player from United. And I don't think it'll be Greenwood because that is where he'll get rotated a lot. So those are my tips for FPL. It's a 2-week break. So if you hit wildcard today, you will have a lot of time to tinker with your team. Just one word of advice, even for Karthik here. If you sell someone who has since risen in price from the first time you bought him. So let's say Salah goes from 12.5 to 12.6, right? So technically you bought him from 12.5, but you sell him. You don't make a profit because it's not 2 points. If you try and buy him back, he will cost you 12.6. So if you're transferring a player out, be careful that you're taking into account what their current price is, because that is what you'll end up buying them for if you buy them again anytime in the future unless they fall. So just quick word of advice, but otherwise you should be fine.
Shiva, one question. Chelsea have they play Villa, I guess, and then they play United and City, right?
Tottenham and City.
Tough games. Even if you have Lukaku, will you get like that kind of return on a player who costs you 12.5 million? I don't think he's going to score like some 4 or 5 goals across these 2 games. Villa may or may not happen. We don't know. But across the other 2 games, there are other players who could come for cheaper, maybe.
Absolutely, there are a bunch of players. Yeah, you're right. There are a bunch of players who could come for cheap, but in the longer run, if you have 3 players who will hit the 200 to 50 point mark, stick with them because you'll end up doing what I just described, right? There would be price fluctuations. For whatever it's worth, and I hope no one in my friend group who supports Chelsea is listening to this, I think Lukaku is also at a certain level fixture-proof. He will continue to deliver at the same rate he has at Juventus. Sorry, not Juventus.
Inter.
The other team, which is the blue at San Siro.
Blue Juventus.
Yeah, the stripes. Yeah, I think even with Tottenham and City, I think he will deliver. Tottenham especially may not be as much at City. But after that, right, there's Southampton, Brentford, Norwich, Newcastle, Burnley, Leicester before they meet United, which is again not that big a deal. So he's one for the long haul. I would even recommend, if you really think about it, you should possibly triple up on Chelsea if you have that much of an appetite. Get a Rudiger, get a Christensen, get a Mount if you want a cheap midfielder. I think it's 7 or 7.5 million. It's not a bad deal, right? They will continue to deliver. Mount has had a couple of assists already. And I think Lukaku is a good bet if you're not going Ronaldo. If you're going Ronaldo, I don't know how you're going to manage finding 12.5 million for Kane, 12.3 million for Kane now, 12.5 million for Lukaku, 12.5 for Salah. So that's literally 33% of your budget, right? So it's just 3 players. So be mindful of that.
Yeah, good. I think the 2 players I'm going to double up on from United is Ronaldo, and a cheaper version of the other players is Pogba. He is going to play. He's not going to lose his place. Plus, he's played well last season when he was fit, right? And you're getting assists and he's driving the game. He's a sure starter. almost every match. Greenwood, like you say, yes, he will be rotated. Bruno will play every game, but he's lost certain points for free kicks or penalties because they'll go to Ronaldo. Pogba never really got points through penalties or free kicks as such, right? And he's a threat from corners too.
Yeah, Pogba has never scored penalties either. So
no, he is. You didn't watch the entire video; it was too long.
He's still running in.
So yeah, take up Pogba. That's my advice.
That's not a bad shout because Pogba also has this knack of taking shots on goal. He tries to curl those in when you least expect it. So that might be a good shout as well. Karthik, it's a lot I know for FPL, but that's it. Over to you. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, 50 minutes. Yeah, good fun. We had a lovely quiz which Shivram won just by the barest of margins. Yeah, it also went longer than the Formula 1 race.
You will hear from my lawyers the moment I get them. For a lawyer, then you hear from them. Next
I hope they don't represent City.
I'm going outside Bandra court right now.
I think it's a different kind of lawyer.
I'll meet you there. There only I'm close by. We'll
inside
grab a bite. We'll go to Lucky's or something. Yeah, some biryani will have. Come.
Sure.
Nice.
No, Hundo we'll have Hundo.
Hurry, you have to go and get your hands dirty. Yeah, what is this Hundo and all that? Hundo is when we're chilling together and Now you're making me hungry. Okay, Siva Sapre, thank you so much for joining us on Football Shootball. This was the third. Are we coming back next week, Sapre? We are, right? We have something to talk about for 20 minutes, if nothing else.
Yeah, and it's raining, so we're not really going outside.
Going out anyway. So we'll be back next week. Producer Surohini is in my ear. You guys are coming back next week. I think that's certain that we are going to. It was lovely having you, Shivram. Congratulations on the quiz victory once
the
again.
Only quiz this entire year. Thank you, Karthik. I'm glad to have won this quiz.
Let's get this done with.
This has been your episode. We'll see the two of y'all and listener you two next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
So if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media handles. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I'm Fickleberry Hun on Twitter and Instagram. That's Huckleberry Finn, but Fickle.
If you want to reach out to me, I am Sapre on Twitter and G Sapre on Instagram.
You can reach out to me at iRant, which is IYERANT on Twitter and Instagram. This is Football Shootball. Recognize.